to all our viewers and to you, Leandrea.
Good day, Otis, and we find ourselves today at Cords & Co. in Swakopmund.
Yes.
And we have quite a lekker show lined up for today because it's Friday.
Chilled,
Yes,
laid back,
yes.
chilled.
So we have an interview with a local musician, Paterson Pepi Van Wyk, who talks about what's going on in the industry. We're going to bring you the latest news, the weather, and then every Friday we focus on a place of interest here in the Erongo region. Sort of like a tourist attraction. And
Yes,
for this week, our place of interest is Dune 7.
Stay tuned. We'll be back in a jiffy. And now we go with the news. And we start off with some positive news.
Yes, for a change, Otis.
Yes.
So basically, our recorded cases in the country remain at 31 with 17 recoveries and 14 active cases. And now our Minister of Health and Social Services said that in addition to the 4 learners that tested negative here in Swakopmund at Swakopmund Secondary School, we have some more positive news. Because the case 22 is doing good in the Walvis Hospital. He's in ICU still, but he's awake. And with
that's now the gentleman from the finances department.
No. Case 26 is finance.
Okay.
Case 22 is the fisherman, basically. So he's awake, and with the donations from his friends, he could get a cell phone, and he is now in contact with his family. So he's doing well.
Wonderful.
Although he's still on mechanical ventilation, he's awake and he's doing good.
You responded.
Yes.
Good.
And now all the staff members, the hospital staff members that were in contact with case number 22 tested negative for COVID-19.
That's good news.
So it's 21 days after they first made contact with him and they tested negative, so there is no way that they can test positive again or whatever the case may be. And then case 26, which is the financial manager of Walvis, is also in good spirits. He's doing okay. His family is also in isolation and they are doing okay. And then when case 22 was first admitted at the hospital, he was in charge of the executive, or he was in standby for the executive committee that weekend. So as soon as he was admitted, he called the meeting with all the important stakeholders like the ministry to decide what's going to happen now on. So everyone that was at that meeting with the financial manager also tested negative for COVID-19.
Good news.
So they are going to be tested again on day 12, but we are positive that it's going to be negative again.
Do you have an update perhaps of the overall standing of this case?
Basically, the Minister of Health also commended NIP, the Namibian Institute of Pathology, for testing 216 samples yesterday or the day before. And that was the record number for the past few weeks that they've tested. So we are getting there. We are definitely getting there. Yes. There are still 750 people in quarantine, and the total discharged from quarantine is 1,980, and there were 2,600 people in quarantine.
Yes, and then Leandrea, the corona pandemic has not left Swakopmund SPCA unscathed, says the non-profit organization chairman Peter Witt, despite preparing themselves well. So according to Witt, many companies closed during the first lockdown and have since completely ceased their activities. Witt says our shelter on the other end, which was very busy even before corona, has almost been overrun since then. Particularly large number of animals, especially dogs and cats, were found on the streets and handed over to the SPCA, and many of these animals were in dire straits and needed veterinary treatment. He added it was particularly sad to see how many pet owners have had to hand over their animals to us since the lockdown. And these animals were brought to us by their owners for a variety of reasons. Many can no longer keep their pets due to the lack of money or having to move to smaller accommodations. And then taking the pets to the SPCA is then a measure of last resort. Our staff often have to play psychologists because of the heartbreaking emotional scenes, but added, and so-called flaps, more pets than usual
Klapper.
have been abandoned These are now pets that are being dropped there, and with these flaps, residents can anonymously leave pets at any time as long as there is enough water and food. Unfortunately, in these cases, we don't get any helpful information about the pet. So our request is that if people do not want to be identified, they should just provide information about the animal. This can help with accommodation and care, and to make other arrangements with SET. And then since the beginning of the corona crisis, the number of donations to the SPCA has decreased significantly, which presents the shelter with several challenges. The SPCA survives solely on donations and thus cannot provide services continuously. And for this reason, as in the previous complete lockdown, opening times have been changed and staff have been divided into shifts to work alternately. In addition, only animals found on the street or left at one of the flaps can be admitted. And then, yes, Vid thanks everyone for their support, but hopes on further donations which can be made to the Swakopmund SPCA. Go to our website www.erongo.com.na for the details of the account. Yes, and then they are moving to petition the lockdown in the Erongo region.
So far, last time I checked yesterday, it was at 1,900 signatures.
It has passed. It's now more than 2,000.
No, look at that now.
Yes,
so more than 2,000 people have signed a petition challenging the extended lockdown in the Erongo region. The petition, which is accompanied by a document proposing that interested parties challenge the lockdown in the region, now have reached over 2,000. Now the aim is to ensure that government relaxes lockdown measures from stage 1 to stage 3, specifically here in the Erongo region.
Yes, yes.
Now Swakopmund-based lawyer Tertius Bierman will be facilitating the case on a pro bono basis. And basically the idea is with this petition and the document that is circulating is that they understand the measures put in place, close our borders, but let us businesses continue so that we can keep our jobs and keep our economy alive. Because a lot of the businesses, like numerous articles we've written in which can be checked out at the website, everyone is saying the same, singing the same story. Like they can't do it anymore. They are suffering. They're truly suffering. So that's the idea with this petition.
I think Bierman's argument makes sense, Leandrea. He said that the fact that government implements a lockdown when a positive COVID-19 infection occurs under circumstances other than in quarantine indicates that government has no intention to learn to coexist with COVID-19, as is the case worldwide, but rather to be ruled by fear and run with it.
Yes, that's what everyone is saying. Sooner or later we will have to coexist with it at the end of the day.
Yes,
and now it's not only businesses, but musicians and artists are also struggling at the end of the day.
Everyone is feeling the brunt.
Yes.
Everyone.
Adrian de Lange, which is a painter, since 1994 says he has nothing left anymore. He got the $750 million grant, but he gave it directly to his landlord. And how is he supposed to care for his family with that type of money? Local rapper Lorenzo Biekers, better known as Nomad, also said it's financially it's been tough, but psychologically as well.
Yes.
Because you have to think of ways now to get your music out there and also generate funds during these trying times.
Yes, you have to put bread on the table.
Exactly.
Yes. And then on some more positive news, not corona positive news, Angana Seafood announced the completion of the refurbishment of one of its vessels, the MFV Erika. So the 142-foot stern trawler took to the waters on 9 June for a test run with service engineers, while a first official voyage is set for Tuesday next week. The ship has a carrying capacity of 28 people. So Angana said the revamp of the Erika cost an estimated $34 million and took about a year to complete. The fleet manager, Christy Sitzer, said the revamp will extend the lifespan of the Erika by another 20 years. So, yes, Erika's captain, Francois Stevens, said that he and his crew are appreciative of the upgrades, adding that they are excited to be taking her out to the sea again. And then Sitzer added that the Erika's sister ship, the Begonia, is set to have refurbishment of her own next year. Yes, and then the upgrades on the Erica included the installation of a new main 8-cylinder engine, which was acquired from Belgium, new winches from Spain, and a split net drum system, which allows for more efficient switching between trawls. The electronic systems and propulsion systems were also upgraded to the latest fishing technology. The deck, wheelhouse, and engine room also underwent a facelift, creating a safe and welcoming environment for all on board.
Cool. And then finally, the gardener guilty of murdering Swakopmund pensioner, now a gardener on trial for robbing and killing a 78-year-old man in Swakopmund in August 2017, was found guilty as charged in the High Court on Thursday. Now, murder accused Unaro Mubumkenga, 27, was found guilty on the charges of murder with direct intention to kill and robbery with aggravating circumstances in connection with the incident that led to the death of Swakopmund resident Manfred Karel Hartman at his house on 17 August 2017. Now this and all of these stories you can read on our website at www.erongo.com.na.
I'm now joined by a musician who goes by the name of Pepi, a musician from Swakopmund. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. So tell me more about your musical journey. How did you start this journey?
I started music way back when I was a kid already. I think I was born like this. I always liked to sing. And so we started way back with guys like the Matongo families. You know, I did like 3 songs to be exact, on the Matongo family first album called the Meesters album. You know, so even before that, before we were doing music as artists, performing vocally, we were dancing. We started off as a Kwaito group called the Trompies way back. So music has always been with me. Started from church to the streets to school, everywhere. It was just music. So.
And this was in the 90s when you guys started?
Yeah, this was way back in the 90s. Can't even remember when, maybe way back in 94 we already started doing music.
How was life back then, especially like for someone who was a creative, an artist?
Yeah, that time life was awesome, you know, and you had these big dreams about you making music, because as I can remember back in the day, there was not really a lot of artists. It was, as far as I can remember, was Jackson Kayewa, William Bwende, and Rashiama. That was the only artist that I could know, that guys were like Namibian artists performing, and you know, we had big dreams, thought we were gonna record and make our albums and become famous one day, but as time went on, things changed. You know, the job became harder and harder, and complicated. You know, a lot of things, shall I say, politics in the music
came into play.
Yeah, so it makes the whole thing tough. I think music in Namibia is not really what it should be. What you see is not what there is, because I think there's a lot of very good and great artists that just don't get to showcase their talents or their work, because they've just been shoved under the carpet so that the less better ones can shine.
You're telling me that there are some artists who are really good, but they're not really making it in the spotlight. There's a lot of politics out there, and the more gifted artists are the ones who are preferred. How is the music industry actually, in your opinion? How is the growth of the music industry? Is it where it's supposed to be?
No, I don't think it's where it's supposed to be. It could have been much better though, if people were only looking at the talent and what people can showcase, instead of whose child this is, where is he coming from, or who he is, instead of what he can do or she can do. Nowadays, it's not about what they can do. It's very few people with real good talent that are actually being brought out. But the best ones are actually just still underground, and they might never even come out, because sadly, that is the way it is. That's why I call it politics or politics. I don't know what to call it, but that's what it is.
Politics. So you're also saying that there are certain, I'm not going to mention any political parties, and I'm sure you also won't, but so you're saying there are actually some political parties who are pulling the strings out here in the music industry?
Yeah, that's obviously what I'm saying, is because some of these guys also use certain artists in their campaigns, so that certainly shows that there is political affiliation in the music industry. And if you are not affiliated to any political party, you're not really going to make it, you know. So politics definitely pull the strings in the music industry.
Right. And we're also not going to mention any award shows or anything. There are more than, or there is more than one award show in this country, and there have been many award shows in the country. But when it comes to awards, is there perhaps also a buddy system where certain artists who know certain people are always winning and so on?
No, nowadays I think it's a bit better, because they think they are just trying to give a chance to everybody, you know, to see, because I don't think our industry is big enough, and even our population of our country, 2 million people, it's not big enough to actually probably decide if who can be the better artist or who can win. So we're doing it in a different way, whereby people have to SMS, or some people have to come and sit, or you have to enter, whereby I thought maybe it should have been by radio stations should actually be nominating the artist for the awards. But it's not like that. You have to enter. So anybody can come and enter for the awards, and then he becomes an award-winning artist without he never even putting in the job, don't even know how to enter the mic, don't even have experience on the stage, don't have any experience of music whatsoever, but now today he becomes an award-winning artist just because he entered a competition. Don't think the award should be like that. It should be where people get nominated according to how many times the songs have played on the radio, and according to how many videos and how many good stuff, how many achievements, what they've done in their music with their job. Not just come and go and record an album in the studio, come back, fill in a form, enter to the awards. Then you cut. No, that's not how it's supposed to work. But unfortunately, that's how it works. And the real guys, like, there's a couple of artists that I can mention that really do good music, but they're not even in the awards, you know. I got some artists winning awards internationally, but have tried to enter into the numbers, but we couldn't win an award at the numbers, but won an award internationally in Europe. So I don't know what's it all about then. If you can be good enough to win an international award, but not good enough to win a Namibian award.
Now, also coming to the issue of music, what can be done to improve our music here in this country?
I think politics should get out of the music, and I think the corporates should step up, and they should actually, I think in a way they should be compelled or something to work with the artists. You know, we got big companies like breweries, for instance. You know, these guys would use South African artists or even international artists to do their jingles or to do some adverts, you know. I think, what's wrong with our artists? What's wrong with our people? Can't they do that kind of music? Can't they do that? But people would go, if you take a Namibian artist, especially the corporates, they take a Namibian artist, ask them to do a corporate song for us, like a theme song, whatever, you know, to promote their whatever, their production or their business. You do that song, they give you something like a couple of measly dollars, 35 grand or something. But then they call a guy, let's say from another country, yeah. They will give him like 10 million.
So they're undermining
their own thing. The thing is, you know, if you look at countries like SA, content played on radio, I think it's like 90% South African music. But if you look at Namibian radio stations, it's 90% American music. Where is the money going? Do you even know that Chris Brown gets royalties for the song that you are playing on the radio? Do you know that? So I think that money should come to us, play our music, and that way we build our music. You understand?
Yes.
But now we it's all about nationalism, I think, man. You should be proud of your things, but I think we are more proud of other people's things instead. That's why our music is also, because music, I think it also showcases the culture of the people of the country, and you know, so we should be proud of that. We should be proud of what our people can
heritage.
do, our heritage.
Do you think that, I mean, obviously we have genres like Oviriche, we have Makaiza, we have Shambo, but are our artists copying too many foreign genres, for example, Kwaito, Amapiano, all these things?
It still comes back to the same thing that I was saying right now. They're not proud of themselves, proud of what they do. But I have very big respect for the Overiche guys, especially because these guys, they bring the feeling of this culture, the soul, the whole thing. You get the feeling. I think that's what you call the original Namibian feeling. You understand? So some guys, because maybe of the money, and because I think some people do music for love, just because they love doing music, and some people do music because they want other people to see them doing music. They want to be famous, they want to be on TV. So that is the difference. So that, I think that's the reason why many people copy other things. You know, South Africans are very proud people. That's why South Africans do South African things.
They create their own thing. You know? There was prom, there was exactly. Now there's Amapiano.
Why can't we do that?
Yeah.
We rather go and do dom. We don't even know what dom means, you know. Yeah. But that's the thing. We lack that kind of self-love, patriotism, and everything. You know, that's the thing. I think it's in everything, not only in music.
Right. Apart from maybe the government and corporates, what about other musical bodies, let's say NASCAM and Namibian Art Council? What can they do to help artists in general?
I think the Art Council is doing at least something to help upcoming artists to showcase or to even be able to record. NASCAM, my friend, this is a big story you are talking now about NASCAM.
Do we want to open that can?
I don't even think I want to go in there. Yeah. Some people might be chasing me tomorrow if I talk the story about NASCAM. You know, but NASCAM is a sad story for us as musicians. I don't know what we can do about NASCAM, but as we know, NASCAM is supposed to be there to protect us and to see that we are taken care of. But you know, recent news and stories about NASCAM, it's just too much. I don't know. I don't want to go in there. But NASCAM is there.
It's there.
It's there.
They exist, but
yeah, that's all I know.
They are there, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Let's go back to you. What is your discography like? I know you've been around for a long time. Albums that you have and so on.
I haven't dropped an album yet because of various reasons, though. I've worked with a couple of artists, though. I do a couple of songs with a couple of artists. I mentor some young boys, young artists coming up. I teach young kids playing guitar. Not only kids, also young people.
Adults, yeah.
And I have an artist like right now that I'm basically mentoring him, giving him tips and all, is young Don. You know, so I'm more into just building art instead of just showing, bragging, or just doing this thing. I want this thing because I love this thing. You know, that's why I do this thing. And albums, I got maybe 150 albums in my head. But
basically, you live, drink, and
I haven't recorded or dropped a full album yet. I got half an album complete. Could be completing it anytime in the next 2, 3, 4 months. You know, but for now, I'm just focusing on loving the music. To me, music is just about love, you know, and it's all about spreading love and not about showing off. And the music these days have gone so far from what I believe music is. Music should educate, positivity, love and all, but nowadays it's all about negativity mostly, you know. Young ones are encouraging young ones to do negative things, so that's all in the music. So for now I'm just sitting back and watching that music where it's going, because There's a lot of things, and I believe in simple music, just simple, good old simple music.
Easy to listen to.
Easy to listen to, easy to relate to. You understand? That's what I like. But I got a couple of songs. I can't say when I'm going to drop my album because I'm still talking with some people.
All right.
Yeah.
And okay, maybe you can give us an encouragement. And okay, before we go to the encouragement, what have I know you drink, eat, and love music. Music is like water to you. Lockdown, COVID-19. How has it affected you as a musician? And what have you been doing during the lockdown, since we are now in stage 1, just to keep the creative process going?
Damn, the lockdown, I think artists have it the hardest because mostly we live from our performances. We eat from our performances. So like now there's no job, there's no performance, so there's no job. I perform for my wife, for my baby every now and then. That's about, and maybe some of my friends can go and sit and jam a bit. Otherwise there's nothing else you can do. You can try to come up with a new song here and there, But for now, there's nothing you can do as a musician, and basically we're starting to starve. So I don't know what we can do. If there can be something that maybe can help us to get gigs, something at least. Maybe open the lockdown, relax, so that there can be at least 50 people or 30 people, so that a person like me can go and at least perform in a bar or restaurant and get something there to put bread on the table. But for now, nothing is going on. It's been 3 months.
Or maybe even the Ministry of Education, Arts and Council, the Directorate of Arts, they can look into maybe getting something from the coffers of the Ministry of Finance to sustain artists.
I got an idea though. We can make a song. They're gonna ask us to make a song about this thing.
Yes.
Just a song probably to encourage and lift up the people's spirits again. I don't mean a depressing song about Corona now, telling the people how Corona is killing them. No, telling the people about how we can stand together, how we can overcome this, how we can overcome anything. I think they can come up with a song like that. They can ask us, and that way they can also give us some money for making the song, like various artists, a lot of artists in Namibia.
Or a compilation album.
Yeah, something like that.
Right. And what is your message out there to the youth in general?
My message to the youth is,
or to anybody actually.
Anybody though, it's always to stay positive, keep a positive mind, because you are what you think you are. In other words, you are the manifestation of your consciousness. So whatever you think is what you will
become.
Yes.
They say.
So keep your mind clean, positivity, and love.
Love.
That's the message I send.
Now, since we're on lockdown once more, all of the events have moved online. Now, future female Swakopmund will host the Influence and Presentation online talk on Thursday, 18 June from 6:30. The grand opening of the Namib Desert development will take place on Saturday, 13 June 2020 in Walvis Bay. And then Bank Windhoek and Capricorn Group will host an online 2020-2021 Namibian National Budget Review on Wednesday, 17 June. So you guys have any events that you know of, please let us know. Just off the C14 road in Walvis Bay, standing tall at 383 meters, you'll find Dune 7, the highest sand dune in Namibia. With picnic tables tucked under several shady palm trees, it's a great place to enjoy the wonders of nature. If you haven't dared climb Dune 7, make sure to put it on your bucket list, but only after lockdown is lifted.
Hi, my name is Pepi and I welcome you to Erongo Talk. Hope you'll enjoy this session today. Hope you'll enjoy this show.
And now for the weather. The sun was out at 20 to 8 this morning in Walvis Bay and is expected to set at 24 minutes past 6 this evening. The maximum temperature for today is 24 with the east-southeasterly wind prevailing. A minimum of 17 and a maximum of 27 predicted for Saturday. A minimum of 16 and a maximum of 26 predicted for Sunday.
Yeah, it's east wind weather out there. Oh.
And the rest of the country shivering.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now you have Swakopmund. Sunrise was this morning at 20 minutes to 8. Sunset at 25 minutes past 6 this evening. The maximum temperature for today will be 23 degrees Celsius for the east wind. And then minimum for tomorrow 17 degrees Celsius, maximum 25 degrees Celsius. And for Sunday, the minimum will also be 17 degrees Celsius with a maximum of 24 degrees Celsius.
Moving on to Walvis Bay, the sun was out at 21 minutes to 8 and is expected to set at 27 minutes past 6 this evening with a maximum temperature of 20 and a southwesterly wind prevailing. For Saturday, the minimum will be 15 and a maximum of 27, and on Sunday you can expect a minimum of 14 and a maximum of 26.
Now moving a bit more inland, Aranda, sunrise was this morning at 7:37. Sunset will be 23 minutes past 6 this evening. Maximum temperature for today will be 27 degrees Celsius with the east-northeast wind. And then for Saturday, minimum will be 15 degrees Celsius with a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius. And for Sunday, the minimum will be 15 degrees Celsius with a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius.
Now making a turn in Usakos, the sun was out at 27 minutes to 8 and is expected to set at 22 minutes past 6 this afternoon with a maximum expected temperature of 25 and an east-northeasterly wind prevailing. A minimum of 15 and a maximum of 26 predicted for Saturday, and a minimum of 9 and a maximum of 28 predicted for Sunday.
Now for the mining town Karibib, sunrise was this morning at 7:30. Sunset will be 21 minutes past 6 this evening. The maximum temperature for today will be 22 degrees Celsius with the east-northeast wind. Minimum will be 7 degrees Celsius, maximum will be 23 degrees Celsius for Saturday. And then for Sunday, the minimum will once again be 7 degrees Celsius with a maximum of 25 degrees Celsius.
Moving over to the farmers area in Amaruru, the sun was out at 29 minutes to 8 and is expected to set at 29 minutes past 6 this evening. A maximum temperature of 22 with east wind weather conditions prevailing there. And then for Saturday, a minimum of 6 and a maximum of 23 predicted, and on Sunday a minimum of 6 and a maximum of 26 Celsius degrees.
So that's your weather for today and this weekend, so prepare yourselves for some cold and windy weather.
Now sadly, we've come to the end of another jam-packed edition of Erongo Talk.
Yes, please go check out our website at www.erongo.com.na. Follow us on social media at Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and drop us a WhatsApp number at 0811 7040.
Businesses, we will allow you to use and abuse us for your advertising needs. Tell us about your products, tell us about your services, and make use of us to promote you and your businesses.
No, definitely.
We have more than 45,000 followers online, and we can help you to boost your business in this
Definitely.
time, especially in this time.
Especially in this time,
Yes,
definitely.
yes.
So please keep safe, wash your hands, wear your mask, listen to the regulations set out concerning stage 1 lockdown. We will see you again on Monday.
Yes.
I